in the arid vastness of nothingness, a desert bakes in the merciless sun, and no life dares venture. Dry, cracked earth belies a very intriguing cycle of still heat beating down on parched earth, and of a curious fact of flooded plains and gentle waves in the monsoon flooding. Is this reality or a mirage? The two faces of the little Run of Kutch. The little Run of Kutch. A mixture of diametric opposites. The little Run of Kutch is situated at the northern end of Saurashtra-Kutch region in the state of Gujarat in western coastal India. This saltwater desert has an amazingly dual personality.
मेरा नाम है देवजी भाई तानेचा। गुजरात में दो रन है, इसीलिए हम एक को लिटिल रन ऑफ कच्छ बोलते हैं, दूसरे को ग्रेटर रन ऑफ कच्छ बोलते हैं। और लिटिल रन ऑफ कच्छ इज़ द मोस्ट कंप्लीट डेजर्ट इन अर्थ, इज़ अ बिग बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड फ्लैट लैंड एंड सॉल्ट रेजिस्टेंस एरिया। तो इसका इकोलॉजी वैल्यू बहुत बड़ा है और अभी ये 15th बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व के नाम से डिक्लेयर हुआ है, द लिटिल रन ऑफ कच्छ। यहाँ पे एशियाटिक वाइल्ड एस इज ओनली होम इन द वर्ल्ड।
That's true. The run is the only home to the Asiatic wild ass in the whole world. Powerful, smart, graceful, endangered. Yes, there is life here. The truth is, here is a terrain that has two faces. A terrain that looks deceptively empty, but is teeming with the most extraordinary variety of wildlife species. As the first light of dawn colors the eastern sky, cranes take off from the lake. The still waters reflect the rising sun. A harrier starts to hunt. Flamingos strut along importantly, pecking into the water. Their pink feathers herald their special immigrant status. Yes, the migrant bird is also Gujarat's state bird. It breeds here, finds wings here, and then off it goes into the colder climes of Europe and elsewhere. pelicans fly around languidly. The sandpiper searches in the shallow sandbed, the water lapping at its feet. And a black-winged stilt struts about. A flock of ducks swims past merrily, while a fearless wheat ear twitters. A lapwing lands near the water, as a tern flits around over it. And myriad other birds start their daily adventure in the desert. A few cranes have stayed behind. Taking off belatedly, they were too late to join in the grand designs in the skies. The majestic, effortless V formations formed instinctively, gracefully by their brethren, using the daybreak sky as their canvas. What do these birds eat in this difficult terrain? Some dry scrub dots the landscape reluctantly. Ah, here's the secret, hidden under the crumbling hot earth. The roots of this innocuous weed harbor small nodules, little white globes of moisture and nutrition.
Theg, common name is theg, and crane come from Eurasian continent, that's a winter visitor, and that's a totally vegetarian bird that eat this food.
The cranes dig these up, eat them and feed their young. In the driest of seasons, this treasure house of food never dries up. And the baking desert conjures up mirages to lead the deluded to non-existent water bodies. Another source of water and food during summers are these succulent plants. The tiny spears of water-laden leaves bear a distinct saline taste that is palatable to the trained taste buds of the indigenous species here. The birds flock here with a oneness that is heartening to see in these days of divisive human politics. A mathematical synchronicity of movement, mood and alarm that is graceful in its innocuous choreography. The nilgai or blue bull was shy and elusive. The males are bluish grey, which gives them their name, while the females are differently colored. The fleeting glimpses we had of this antelope showed us how powerful the animal was. It is in fact India's largest antelope. He could graze effortlessly from the topmost branches of scrub trees. The vast grasslands are another source of food. A majestic animal, the chestnut-colored wild ass, looks anything but an ass. It is beautiful, intelligent, and sensitive. The wild asses obviously know how to separate the very common desert mirages from stark reality. A lesson in coexistence we humans could well benefit from. We then came across a charming instance of the local fauna adapting to change and benefiting from it. In fact, our jeep turned out to be of great use to these birds here. The fork-tailed black drongo, with its petite body and quick movements, followed our jeep, snatching up the tiny insects that were disturbed from the tall grass by the wheels. Their hummingbird-like hovering and patience were endearing.
This is Madak Bed, the highest point in Little Run of Kutch. This must be 55 meters above sea level compared to the average height of 3 to 4 meters of Little Run of Kutch. Be surprised to see me in a boat in the middle of the desert. In fact, all this parched land will get filled with water during the monsoon time. And there will be hundreds of families doing fishing activity, which is their livelihood.
In fact, when the skies open up in the monsoon and the run floods, these promontories, called beds, are the refuge of diverse animals. They flock here and live out the flood, only to scatter once the water drains away. The rains changed the entire desertscape of the run to a vast waterscape.
This is the same place where we had been to during summertime, February, and this is the same location. Now you can see it's filled with water. This is the uniqueness of this place. This is rainwater. It comes from all the catchment areas of Aravalli Mountains. Ideal situation, ideal culture for shrimp, prawns and a variety of fish.
Fishing communities moved to the shores of this brackish water body. For a few months, they make a livelihood, netting large catches of fish, shrimp and prawns. This feature of the run is unique in all the world. Desert all year through and a watery ecosystem after the monsoons. After the rainwater dries out, the run is again dry and hot. And we drove off into the vast desert to find out more about yet another endangered species. These glistening fields are the salt pans of the Little Run of Kutch. Harvested by drying out the extremely saline water, constantly churned up to even out the crystallization. Salt is the main source of livelihood for the run's indigenous population. The laborers' limbs are affected by the extremely corrosive salt. Protection is minimal. But being sons and daughters of the saltwater desert, they have learned to survive in the harsh environment, just like the rich wildlife around them. The clouds of grain, the fleeing boars, the loping wild ass, the running blue bull, the basking spiny-tailed lizard, and the many, many birds that inhabit the run. An amazingly populated terrain. Who says the desert is lifeless? We know the population is rich, varied and protected. More needs to be done to protect them, but with due respect to the natural flora and fauna of the amazing Mirage, that is, the little run of Kutch. God's miracles should remain unsullied by human progress.